What is up, Bomb Squad? Welcome to the Burndown YouTube channel. We're out here with the boom once again. Quit work a little early, cleaned up, so it gives myself a little extra time on this because the next move in the air conditioning install, for me anyways, I've got the little guy mounted up under the dash, so I think that that's pretty well done. I'd like to get the condenser mounted. So my boys over at War Performance, Jason, shot me this thing, and it's a monster. And initially I was apprehensive to try to put it in there because I don't think it's going to fit. I think we're going to have to modify a lot more stuff to get this to work. But the larger this thing is, hopefully the better the cooling works, and I figure I'll just go as big as I can. We'll move everything we need to get that thing stuffed in there. Because if this doesn't work and my cooling is like lukewarm, the air coming out of there, it is what it is. I mean, we tried, right? We got the biggest thing, so hopefully the air is cool. But if I went with a smaller condenser and then the air wasn't cold, I'd be pissed because I'd probably have to come back, and then at that point we'd have lines made. I would have all the Freon or whatever goes in there in the system, so I feel like it'd be way more wasteful, and I'd have to take the other one out and then redo stuff. And I don't like doing stuff twice, so we'll just go down the hard road. I don't have a lot of room to work with, although I did try to leave room for an AC condenser, so I'm not just dreaming this up now. We have space. I have a pretty decent amount of space in there. And then this mount was always just a quick and dirty to get this mounted for Mega Week, which we missed. So I knew I was going to have to revisit that, so I'm not too upset about revisiting this portion. I just don't know if this has room side to side, so I'm thinking we're probably going to get cut into the box. And then the cold side plumbing underneath will take the bumper off. That jig jogs kind of back, and I think that's going to end up being redone as well. But it's the price you pay for a little cold air conditioning, and I think even with all the struggles, first time we go drive somewhere and I crank that thing on, we roll the windows up. The thing you'll notice too, I want to say, before I actually start working, because I'm avoiding it, is if you watch anybody on a drag and drive and you see an older car, the badasses are rolling with the windows up, not down. If you're in an old car and you got your windows down, that means you don't have your shit together because you don't have air conditioning. If you're rolling in 1320s trying to take pictures and you're doing this from inside your car, that is way cooler. Get it? Technically, in my opinion. So hopefully next time we're rolling at an event, I can wave to everybody from behind the window being up, which would be killer. So, all right, let's quit daydreaming. Let's start dismantling my perfectly good running car so I can't enjoy it this weekend. Awesome. Well, one nice thing about how the front end was built, and with all the Zeuses that I have, it only takes a handful of bolts to get everything taken off. So here we are. This is a room we're working with. It's a lot easier to see now. And then I will take that out and we'll put the cardboard just on the fins so we don't damage nothing. Then we can start kind of holding it up and mocking it up. But yeah, this is going to have to go because that has to be closer to the radiator. So that will make the car essentially undrivable until I get this sorted, because I won't have support for my transmission cooler, which is fun. So I'm hoping, you know, I almost hoped I could just grab this thing and bend it and pull it out and just make room like a barbarian. That still might be the case. Maybe we can do that and then just come back in here and, you know, clip this thing and kind of bend it and make it just a new bar piece or something. I don't know. We'll see how we go. But the main thing is that has to fit, and then this will be secondary to that. And as you can see, we're already close on this guy. We've got some room in there. So anyway, all right, let's get this thing prepped and then start holding it up like cavemen. Old mounts are off. Now we see if the that's just marker, I think. The real room for activity begins. So let me play with it a bit and then we will see how we go. But that thing is huge. It's essentially bigger than this. You'll see if we start mocking things up. But the problem I have is really not the condenser. So this guy is probably in the way, so we'll loosen that. I should probably just take that off too. Disappointing. And then this is my issue, this bar, because the line portion can go through, I believe, like an 8 or a 6, but the nut portion is not going to fly. That has to be back behind here. So that pushes the back of that into this guy. So that'll probably all get cut too. So we'll see. We'll see how much further backwards I go before we start moving forward. I'd appreciate it if one of you guys could stop what you're doing and take my tools away, because it just doesn't get any better. We keep going backwards. So I feel like I'm as far backwards as we could possibly go. And now we should have all the room to put this thing in. And that just screws all the other stuff. I knew it would. I was just being a sad boy about it. So I guess we'll get another shot to reimagine filtering with this. And then we will go from there. But my box did work good. I was able to take it off, so that was really nice. That was kind of how I designed it. But when you put this in here, I won't have the added room to slide it over and take the thing off or whatever. So I guess the first filtering box will probably end up getting reimagined. But on to more important stuff, like AC condensers that are making me go backwards, and I'm getting sad over here. Took a bit longer than expected, but this thing is in. It's just tacked up, so we just got these little rods, and then my pipe goes through here, so this is gonna have to be cut. But I just tacked everything, and it's floating, and it's got my gap. I like where this is. I figure worst case, I will, before really weld it, I'll put the pipe through there, and I'm hoping I can just cut it flush, but I may have to cut it back here and then just bend that little tab over so it welds back here to make room for the pipe. And then obviously we'll cut those down, and then this guy goes to here and then straight up to that, and then it is in. My main concern is just these, being able to get the nut on there, and then I have to bend it over to go between here, and then same with this guy here. So there's some room, but it's gonna be tight. And then this kind of is what it is with this guy here. So I almost feel like instead of having that big box, maybe we'll just revamp it and just do like a slide-in air filter deal. And then that way I could leave this panel and stuff, and I don't have to try to reach my hands in to do stuff. I could just, when I take the hood off, you just pop the filter on it. So that might be the fix for that, just to keep it simple. And then I feel like it's kind of clogged, and yeah, it's going to pull some hot air off of this, but I feel like with the air coming in this way, it still should hopefully see some cooler air. If not, I'll build something to kind of funnel it that way. I may do that anyway. Maybe we can just at least block this off and kind of revert the air that way, but I'm not worried about it. We don't need 10 billion horsepower. We just need enough to get down the track. So that is that. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna clean up and then see how we can put the jigsaw puzzle back together. Hopefully this weekend we'll get close, but you never know. Till next time, you know what to do. I'm out.
Rolling through the streets, yeah, I'm the king of the block. Got that dragon dry style, make your whole city rock. Maliboom gangster, with a touch of finesse. I'm burning rubber, raising hell, feel the heat, no stress. Turbo LS, under the hood, I'm moving quick. Nicky tires grip the road, make them stick like a trick. She, sloppy too, we got a hit in 08. In the war performance parts all over the place. The bomb squad's